L'Shana Tova. Good Yontif. Shabbat Shalom. Good evening. Gemar Chatima Tova. May you be sealed for a year of goodness and health and peace. Our tradition teaches us that Yom Kippur is a day of deep introspection, a time to consider our actions, a time to wrestle with our history and our potential. Our prayer books are filled with prayers seeking forgiveness, prayers acknowledging our shortcomings, prayers reminding us of the glorious history of our people and our relationship with the Almighty. All are accurate, and all represent not just the traditional understandings of Yom Kippur, but in many ways the essence of who we are as humans and as Jews. And yet, all of those prayers and customs and beliefs miss two major elements of the Day of Atonement. At its core, Yom Kippur stands as a day of great equality and a day of limitless opportunity. We gather in this space with unusual equality. The art of teshuvah, of repenting, returning, renewing, knows no differentiation. Our gender, our age, our bank accounts, our parentage, our belongings, all are rendered impotent by the charge of this day. In judging and considering our lives, God cares not for any of those characteristics, nor does our tradition give any credence to them. Instead, on this day we stand together, all united in our willingness to confront the past, all sharing the burden of having missed the mark in the year just ended. Our gathering tonight also represents a powerful belief in the future, in our abilities to change, in our potential to do better, in a world always filled with new opportunity. Every one of us entered this sanctuary this evening believing that they could do better, believing that our world can be better, believing that by joining together on this night, we put a down payment on a brighter tomorrow. Yes, Yom Kippur is a day of great equality, and it is also a day of opportunity. Just 2 days ago, we learned of the deaths of two who knew and understood the significance of equality and opportunity. Their lives and deaths were starkly different. Their accomplishments, while high in stature, are as unique as they were. Yet both achieved greatly, both advanced the cause of humanity, and both have much to teach us this evening. The Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth died on Wednesday morning, and later that same day, Steve Jobs, founder of Apple Computers, died. Both men were heroic in their own way, and both took enormous risks. Both suffered failure, and both rose up again, determined to reach ever higher. And both left this world far better because of all they did. Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth was a native of Alabama. He became an ordained minister in the early 1950s, and from his position as pastor of Bethel Baptist Church, became one of the leading voices seeking civil rights in the South. His house was bombed, he was attacked, his family lived in fear. Yet, he arose each morning ready to fight for equality, ready to risk his own life so that all could be free. He once said, "They tried to blow me into heaven, but God wanted me here on earth." Fred Shuttlesworth had the gumption to go head-to-head with the rascal Bull Connor, Birmingham's police chief. Reverend Shuttlesworth understood deep in his bones the power of equality, and he did all he could to expand freedom during his lifetime. His accomplishments were so significant that the city of Birmingham, once the hotbed of racial division, renamed its airport Shuttlesworth International Airport. In the early 1960s, Reverend Shuttlesworth was called to a pulpit in Cincinnati, Ohio. Decades later, as a student at the Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati, I had the honor of meeting Reverend Shuttlesworth and learning from him. He possessed an uncommon humanity, an ability to see the divine in all people, a drive to make that sacred bond more recognizable to all. He understood that we are ultimately all united in our humanity, and that once we recognize that shared bond, new worlds can be created. Steve Jobs spent his lifetime imagining and building new worlds. A Californian who was adopted at birth, he dropped out of college after only one semester and built his first computer in the garage of his parents' house. Jobs recognized that his gifts as a human being presented an opportunity to imagine, dream, and build. He succeeded, failed, succeeded again, failed again, and rose once more to the heights of achievement. Through it all, he never gave up on his belief in opportunity, in the next great thing. Jobs, like Shuttlesworth, understood that we humans are naturally drawn to creating. He harnessed that power by creating machines which have changed the very nature of human interaction. His products contained whiz-bang modern technology, but at their finest, allowed and encouraged humans to seek more, to interact more, to do more. His was a life of opportunity, and in developing his own pursuit of opportunity, Steve Jobs forged a path for all of us. Equality and opportunity. Opportunity and equality. Yom Kippur calls us to join together, to unite the many individuals who populate our community into one voice, seeking change, imagining a brighter tomorrow, linking with one another to build that shared dream. Fred Shuttlesworth and Steve Jobs, in their own unique lives, showed us the power we all possess. And now on this night, we must harness those sacred strengths to better ourselves and our world. This Yom Kippur marks the beginning of two new projects at Temple Concord, one aimed at creating equality, the other at increasing opportunity. Both have the potential to transform each of us individually and our community as a whole. Both projects renew long-standing commitments of our temple, and both need our attention. In 1862, just shy of 150 years ago, 20 young men from Temple Concord, after hearing a passionate address by Reverend Solomon Deutsch, the temple's rabbi at the time, volunteered for service and were mustered into the Union Army to fight the Civil War. The 20 men formed their own company and served valiantly in battles in Virginia, sustaining significant casualties and losing one man in combat. Our ancestors in this congregation understood the call of equality. They left their homes, families, businesses, and went to fight so that all people, regardless of skin color, could be free. And nearly 100 years later, led by Rabbi Ted Levy, our congregation again engaged in the struggle for equality through the civil rights movement. Yes, ours is a congregation with a deep and abiding commitment to equality. This past summer, our state took a giant leap forward in the pursuit of equality by passing a bill legalizing gay marriage. Tonight, we must join together and take the next step. We must commit ourselves to becoming a welcoming and open congregation for the homosexual community. For too long, the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community has felt ostracized, ignored, reviled. The call we hear on Yom Kippur says nothing about sexual preference. The drive to acknowledge our shortcomings and commit to improving our world knows only equality. And we must embrace that understanding that our shared humanity trumps any difference in orientation or preference. Syracuse's homosexual community includes many Jews. Few are affiliated with a congregation. Most have never felt valued, never felt included, never felt a part of congregational life. So tonight, as a temple family, let us commit to changing. Soon you will see the gay pride flag displayed proudly on our website, and with it links to Jewish organizations welcoming and supportive of the LGBT community. Soon you will see real outreach efforts led by our own Jim Brule to reach out to our homosexual community with programming, inclusion, and dignity. We will welcome homosexual families and individuals as willingly and warmly as we do heterosexual families and individuals. Our temple will be a place of openness, acceptance, and equality. And I pray that soon we will have the joy of celebrating a gay union on this bima. Our tradition recognizes the sanctity of each and every individual, and the time has come for us to live up to that standard. Just over a mile east of where we now gather stands a school building on Fellows Avenue. Some of you may remember that building as the original Nottingham High School. In 1953, as the new Nottingham on East Genesee was being completed, the Syracuse City School Board decided to use the original building as a junior high school, and they voted to rename it the T. Aaron Levy Junior High School. T. Aaron Levy was a giant in our community. He served as a member of the school board and was its president in 1909, served on the Onondaga County Committee on Health, the Syracuse Housing Authority, and was the first president of Temple Concord's Men's Club. In all of his activities, T. Aaron Levy sought to expand opportunity for others. He understood that the clearest path to success involves a solid education. He worked tirelessly to expand learning for the children of our community. And tonight, we renew the commitment to education he began over 100 years ago. Temple Concord and Roberts School will soon begin a new adopt-a-school relationship. In the coming weeks, you will hear about opportunities to help needy young people as they pursue their own goals. We'll have the honor of serving as tutors for children struggling with reading or math. We'll have the privilege of serving as mentors to children who have enormous potential, but also face staggering barriers. Our new partnership will allow Temple Concord to take the words of the V'ahavta prayer, "And you shall teach your children," and turn them into action. We who so deeply believe in the power of hope, in the promise of tomorrow, can share that gift with those for whom hope and promise often feel like distant concepts. Barbara Sutton has generously agreed to coordinate our adopt-a-school activities, and I urge you to join this sacred mitzvah of teaching the young people in our community. Together, we can change the world, one student at a time. Join us, join us, join us. Opportunity and equality, equality and opportunity. Our tradition endows us with abiding gifts on this Yom HaKippurim, this Day of Atonement. We here tonight enjoy exemplary equality. We are gifted with the ability to be ombudsmen and ombudswomen for opportunity. On this sacred occasion, let us recommit ourselves to working with the Almighty to share our bounty. Yom Kippur calls us as individuals to look inward, to take an accounting of our thoughts, words, and actions. Yom Kippur calls us to consider our moments of strength, our seconds of shortcoming. And Yom Kippur compels us to consider our obligations as a collective. But Yom Kippur works only when we take those thoughts and turn them into action. Yom Kippur's beauty and strength, so evident in the melodies and rituals, the solemnity and sanctity of the day, rest not in the words we pray, but rather in our own pursuits of a world more filled with holiness. On this night of Kol Nidre, this evening of vows, let us commit ourselves to expanding equality and opening opportunity for all. We have the ability to do God's work here on earth, to be messengers of the Most High, to elevate from the mundane to the majestic. May our prayers elevate ever higher, and may the works of our hands and hearts lead us to a world of ever-increasing equality and opportunity for ourselves, for each other, and for all humanity. L'Shana Tova.